So how do we quantum jump? So the emotional states, like what you're feeling, have been proven to be directly related to the strength of the electromagnetic fields in our heart that our brain produce. So negative emotions make the field weaker, while positive emotions strengthen it. And they've done studies on this. So your feelings, your emotions are like magnets, right? Now, the way they explain it is that it attracts people, experiences, opportunities, and it's repelling the ones that don't find their way to you. It's called emotional magnetism. But when it's combined with your thoughts, it's a form of electromagnetic energy. So the thoughts actually have electric activity, and it has it's interconnected with your neuron cells. And there's a lot of things that are hard to really explain or understand, but basically connected, your thoughts, because it's electric, it creates that electrical field, and then your emotions are magnetic. It's going to draw in or attract, in other words, that electrical field, that thought, that feeling. I hope that makes sense, because I'm trying to explain it as best as I can without confusing, because sometimes it can be confusing for me as well. But like even Joe Dispenza talks about all of the electrons and neurons in our brain. But basically, to simplify it, like I've talked about in other videos, your thoughts are creating. And this is a way of explaining how it does that. So your thinking is creating that magnetic field that's going to be projected through your emotions, because your thoughts create an emotion, right? And then the magnet or the magnetic field in your feelings is going to bring it to you. So now, quantum jumping. It's as simple as just keep your thoughts on what you want, on the positive thoughts. That's going to create the positive feelings, and therefore it's going to magnetically bring that feeling to you and create around you that what it is that you've been thinking about. Now, yes, creation's finished, so you're not really creating. It's just a way of trying to explain it, because sometimes people might not understand that your thoughts are creating, because it's like, well, how is it creating, but this is how your thoughts are creating that that emotional feeling, that magnetic frequency around you. And so your feelings together, working together with it, is drawing it in to you, and then drawing out, because it's pushing out and repelling all of the things that you don't want, and is going to push out that positive thought that you do want. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, so to quantum jump, you just have to keep thinking about what you want, because eventually it's like, think about, okay, when you do have two magnets and you're holding them in opposite hands, and you're slowly bringing it towards each other, like to touch, right? Before it touches, you can almost feel like that pull, right? And then it kind of like snaps together, and then it's together. So every time you're thinking about what you really want, it's like that slow pull of that magnet, that's slowly coming together. And then eventually, if you consistently stay on that process, it's going to snap together, and then you're eventually that person, and that becomes your new reality. So you can quantum jump. You can do it quickly, because, time really doesn't exist. But to some of us, it feels like it's a lot longer, but yeah, you just stay in that thinking of what you want, because it's going to create that magnetic field through your feelings, and eventually that magnetic pull, the electromagnetic frequency is coming together, and it's going to become your new reality. But there really is science behind it. You know, do your own research, really, because, you know, anybody can just tell you anything, right? But do your own research on it. But it does work, because I've noticed that when I waver, you know, like I can be feeling or thinking about something and doing my meditations or my scripting or my affirmations, or, you know, whatever the processes are. Or sometimes I don't even use processes, but I notice when I'm getting into that flow of momentum, you know, like how Abraham Hicks talks about, that's when I start seeing things shifting around me. But then instead of staying on that wave of momentum, I might think about what I'm seeing in my 3D, and then I'm frustrated, you know, that I'm not seeing the results that I want right away. And so now I just kind of like, you know, pull that magnet away from me now, because I'm on a different frequency now, a different wave. I'm on a different thought pattern, and now I'm thinking about the negative stuff. And so now that's what's going to come into my quantum field. So you have to stick with it. You know, for people who think, oh my God, I've been doing it for so long and it's not working, it is working. It's because you're noticing it. You're noticing what's going on around you. Just, you have to stop that. You know, like sometimes we think, no, I've been doing this for too long and I'm not noticing it, but I am now because it's taking too long, because that's how I used to think. But really, in between what I thought I was doing right, or what I thought was, you know, the processes that were going to work for me, I really wasn't, you know, because I would be thinking about the things that I don't want and talking about it and, you know, focusing on it and being in that thought pattern. So I hope today's video helped. Like I said, do your own research, you know, because you want to you know, understand it yourself and see that, okay, there is some truth to, you know, this electromagnetic field, and, you know, even if we don't understand it, but there is something to it, you know. I mean, how do you explain these miracles of, you know, people who have had like a 10-pound tumor, and then all of a sudden, you know, they've been thinking about it shrinking, and they go back to the doctor and there's no tumor there, you know. Like, how do you explain things like that, right? Well, it's because they've shifted into a different timeline, a different reality, where they are that person who never had a tumor. So you can be that person who has always been rich, who has always been healthy, who have, you know, always been successful, who has always been happily married, you know. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video.